Yo, what the fuck is up? Welcome to the Chey Show. And I'm sitting here with the homie, the partner in crime, Ben Delcambre, a.k.a. Big Delk. What the fuck is up in your life, man?
Oh, just living up as a Big Delk. It's a hard name to be given, but it's one I try to live up to the biggest totem, I can give myself. So,
Yeah, so we were just sitting here. We've been drinking a few beers and decided to go ahead and click record. And I go ahead and grab my GarageBand. I'm not GarageBand.
it's a rock band.
Rock band microphone. I guess from like 6th or 7th grade. And man, this microphone is actually not as old as our friendship, and that's some crazy shit. We pretty much met. I met Ben in 4th grade. He's one of the first persons I talked to at the new school that I joined, Catholic High. Fuck that place. I don't have any problem making it known.
Was that Miss Bergani?
It was Miss Bergani. Yeah, that was our 4th grade teacher, Miss Bergani.
I've got a great story about that. I remember, I'm not going to say his name, but I'll just call him B. I remember he sat at the front of the class, and he was really digging in his desk one day. Like, everyone noticed that he was inside his little cubby in his little sit-down desk. And then, even eventually the teacher noticed that out of, in the back portion of the room, sitting in front of her desk, she noticed he was just inside of it. So she walks over, and the kid was gluing pencils into his desk. And we don't know why, but he was gluing them to the side. And he was like, well, so I can have easy access to them later. And then it was quite an event to see.
You know what the crazy part is I know exactly who the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna call him Brad, without giving too much information. But that is, in fact, the person you're talking about, right?
Absolutely, that is correct.
Yeah, no. And I remember another person. Let's call him Rye. So I remember the last day of 4th grade. He had an orange, or maybe it was an apple. But he was like, hey, bro, you dare me to peg Brad in the back of the leg with this fucking apple? Oh, and I was like, of course. And he did that. And he... So you got to think of 4th grade strength. It's non-existent.
Right, yeah, that's being like... It's like... It's like a toddler throwing a sponge at you.
Yeah, no. And I remember he hit him with this piece of fruit, and he just went it just went just like, and then Brad just went, and of course he tattled.
A snitch.
You
hate to see it.
Even though Rye was a complete asshole for doing that.
What a bully. But still, that's...
That's some funny-ass shit.
Oh, God. I mean, that's why kids are bullied. You're just making yourself that way. Even though you hate to say it, but...
Well, hey, man, you gluing pencils on the inside of your desk, you're going to make yourself a target.
Don't make yourself a target. Absolutely.
But at the same time, kids are fucking assholes. I was one of those assholes at certain points in my life. I wouldn't consider myself to be a bully.
Yeah. I saw you squeeze a cat once.
What? Of course I don't remember that. What? Oh, I was like, but maybe I smoked Pal once and don't remember.
Oh, well, I do remember one day. I think it was like the 6th grade, and we all used to sit outside. They wouldn't, even though it could have been the depth of winter, they would have kept us outside before school started. Yeah. So we were all walking into class, and I remember seeing Trey, and he had a bunch of scratches on his face. It's like, dude, Trey, you all right? What happened? He's like, cat got me while I was sleeping.
I remember that, yeah. That was Jazz, man. Yeah, fuck that cat, dude. Yeah, no, that is so interesting that you bring that up. that it could have been 30 degrees outside. They wouldn't even unlock sometimes they wouldn't unlock the cafeteria.
Right.
But the cafeteria heater wouldn't even be on, so we'd just be in this cold building at like 7 a.m. And they would just keep us in there in middle school until they were ready to let us in the building. Why couldn't we just go in the regular building?
Why couldn't we just sit in our class?
In our regular class.
Before class started. I mean, that's what the classroom is there for. Like,
just like, hey, go to your first class.
And then, of course, we're sitting outside, and as you walk in, they're like, oh, you can't wear jackets. So you better take those off.
Yeah, no, I remember getting detentions for putting unregulated jackets on before I walked outside.
That's right. We were regulated on the type of jacket we were wearing.
I remember I had an orange DC jacket with a blue zipper.
Rob Deer Deck edition?
Must have been. Must have been. And no, I remember having that and Miss
Brenda.
No, it wasn't Brenda.
Wow.
Jacket off.
Jacket off.
Jacket off.
Jacket off. Oh, hey guys, jacket off.
That was her thing, man. Jacket off. And it would be me and Alex and
What a great religion class that was.
oh, it was so terrible.
I remember she's also the person who told a bunch of kids that their animals won't be in heaven.
Yeah, she did.
And
She did do that.
she's like, animals don't have souls, and made a bunch of children cry.
Yeah, I remember that. I was one of those people that was like, well, hey, this is fucked up.
And yeah, she's like, no, cats. I mean, animals can't love.
It's just instinct.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, Miss Brenda was a dumb fat bitch. I didn't like her much. And hey, you know what? I guess the cat's out the bag because, hey,
she died.
she did not really die, folks. We're not laughing at it. I just knew that was a joke. Look, man, if you would know this person in the hell that she put middle school students from, it'd be funny to you as well.
Or if was an awful person.
Yeah, that also. But you know, I remember. Let's just call him NS. He he asked. I remember I was like, "Hey, NS, why don't you ask Miss Brenda what she trims her bush with? Does she use hedge trimmers or a chainsaw, or what's her preferred preference?" And he asked her, and she didn't even fucking get it. She didn't get it at all, and
I do have to say,
but he did end up getting in trouble for it because some fucking tattletales told on him.
Oh man, I remember also we had our boy AT in there, and he.
Oh, man. Well, I genuinely don't think he would give a fuck if we name dropped him, but.
Oh yeah.
Alex, we don't have to say a last name, but this motherfucker, he's a look. Let me just put it to you this way: he's a European country motherfucker, if that makes any sense. He is from a country in Europe, and I mean, just the most yee motherfucker you ever meet in Louisiana.
Man, that guy's a quality character for sure. But I remember
One of the best.
back in the religion class we're in, he was causing a good old ruckus in the back. Don't mind this, guys. But
Your beer's
dude. I mean, sometimes that happens to me. But anywho, he was causing a ruckus, and the teacher says, "Oh, Brenda," she says, "Alex, would you like to leave this classroom?" And sure enough, he responds, "Yes." And he walks his happy ass out of there.
I remember thinking it was absolutely absurd. I couldn't believe that he did it, but he would you like to leave? He was like, yeah. And I also remember distinctively remember he found this like religious CD in the back of the classroom, and he snapped it in half, and then threw it on the ground, and it like bounced. It like shot up into the ceiling, and like Miss Brenda had no clue who did it or what it was. I just remember her finding the CD and being pissed.
Oh my god!
Basically, this is sacrilege.
Oh man, I did dress up as the King of the Jews for something.
I remember that. It was a dress day for what was it? What was that for? That I can't.
BMOC.
Big man on campus. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you turned water into wine.
Yeah. I think that was a little sacrilegious.
I'm surprised they let that happen.
Yeah. No, I felt like, you ever seen the movie, was it Prince of Egypt? When they have like the little dudes like proving that religion isn't real, and they're like making snakes and stuff out of sticks.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was just being that sacrilegious, just proving people.
And it took a while too. I remember everybody was sitting there waiting in anticipation, like, what the fuck is he gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna turn water into wine, and it just changed, and everybody was like, oh my god!
It's called an iodine clockwork reaction. It's a very simple home chemistry experiment anyone can do. All you need is a little iodine, some starch, some water. It's in 2 glasses. That's all you need. Real easy to get into, guys. Highly suggest. That's iodine clockwork reaction.
I bet Ben could also teach you how to make a fucking pipe bomb.
I can teach you how to make a pipe bomb out of meth, too.
A little shake and bake.
And bake.
Yeah. No. But I guess some things that I kind of wanted to get into on this show, aside from our obvious long friendship, I guess. So we met in 4th grade. Well, we were 10 in 4th grade. 10 in 4th grade. Spam this glizzy to help out Wizzy. You can't show me shit like that when I'm trying to do. Oh, man. Okay. But so aside from our obviously long friendship, so what? Wait, we met in 4th grade, so we were about 10 years old probably. Then I just made 25. So roughly 15 years that we've been knowing each other. That's a decent amount of time.
Absolutely.
I'd say we know each other pretty well. I'd say also that we probably have a certain mutual understanding on morals and values. I think that's how we stayed friends for so long, is that we're
liberal. That's what we're saying. We're liberal as hell. We everything. We voted holding hands out of the booths.
Yeah, no, I would rim Joe Biden in a second.
I wouldn't. That's all. What are you talking about?
But what I'm saying, most things.
We really never butt heads. We're always.
Yeah, as far as views, I think. So it brings me to the point that I'm trying to make. What do you make of this election? Honestly, what do you think your opinion is? I'm not asking for who you voted for. If you voted, I did not vote. I could not pick between 2 fucking pieces of shit. I refuse to do it. I don't know enough about Jo Jorgensen. I don't know that bitch. I'm not going to talk about her too much because I don't know. And Kanye just seemed silly.
Right. I was
impressed
he was actually on there.
He made a good percentage, and especially in Louisiana.
Good, but yeah.
Decent.
I would say I did vote. I'm not very happy with what we had to choose for this election. I'm going to say both these gentlemen are extremely smart. They're way smarter than me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about 80% of the time. If they can get to a position of that level, like they have done, it really takes someone with an intellect. But I would say we're dealing with two gentlemen that are over, I believe, 70 at that point. And, Ben Biden, the oldest president. But anywho, president-elect. But anywho, it's just, it'd be nice to have some American candor and not two old senile folks battling it out. Because honestly, it was a childish, it was just a childish affair that no one wanted to be a part of and disappointing in all parts. Yep, and we ended up with whoever we ended up with, and can't really argue with it. It's America. That's democracy.
Well, and it voter fraud. I don't think any more irregularities happened than any previous election, because there's always irregularities. There always has been. Look at the 2000 election when the Supreme Court decided that George Bush would be president. And nobody really wants to talk about that and how that actually happened. And everybody wants to talk about how Trump is the devil and or Trump is the savior. And Joe Biden, nobody likes Joe Biden. I don't think anybody that voted for Biden really is psyched
but
of
he's
that.
Got little hairs he can pull on in the summer and they turn blonde. But he's got a cute dog. Didn't you see Reddit jacking him off about his dog?
Yeah, no, they were real. That was a big circle jerk. They were all upon him for his fucking German Shepherd. Oh. It's like dude. Hitler had a German Shepherd. Like I'm just being.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I'm just being real, dude. Hey, who gives a fuck? It's a rescue. It's a rescue.
German Shepherds are a great American household dog. But you know who else had German Shepherds? Nazis.
Exactly. I'm not downing Joe Biden for adopting a German Shepherd. That's cool. I'm also not saying Joe Biden is the Antichrist. But what I am saying is that Joe Biden is a career politician in that he has always made his money from doing backroom deals and shady shit. Look at his son getting a fucking foot job while smoking crack.
Yo, that happened?
You didn't see that? There's a video.
Oh, that's kind of hot.
No, yeah. No, Hunter Biden is literally he's smoking crack and getting a foot job. And so it's super gnarly.
That is gnarly.
But they blur out the dick, but you can
it's like Japanese porn.
Dude, it's like why? Why would you blur out? That's some presidential dick. Don't blur it out. Almost presidential dick.
What do they call those kids? What do they call the kids under the president?
Or would they be?
I mean, there's the first lady, or they're the first kids.
The first
children.
The first children.
That sounds like some kind of cult.
Yeah, I was about to say the first children to be fucking sacrificed to Baphomet. I genuinely think that there was I think there was voter fraud, not voter fraud. I think there was election fraud on both sides, and people are unwilling to admit that Trump is also capable of being shady as well as Biden, and I don't understand why that's such a crazy idea. You're talking about a man who made his living on a reality show telling people they're fired. And what did he do when he was president? He fucking fired everybody.
I think it's pretty neat that a person, I look at old Governor Arnold. He was, it really showed that's the American dream. You can come over, be an actor, and then become a governor of one of the largest and most influential states in America.
Well, hey, and I mean, I get that part, but what I'm saying is Donald Trump, a small loan of $1 million from my father, bitch, is more than $1 million. Your father made you who you fucking were. And also, his father, I think, was not a good person, probably. Just like he's probably not a good person.
Have you ever seen that picture of, his mother and his father?
Yeah, they look like Draugr from Skyrim.
Yes. Hey, smooth skin.
No. They real talk. They they looked dead when they were alive, son. I did see, dude. Donald Trump's dad's skull, like you could see it on the outside. It was like you could see the dimples of this motherfucker's skull.
Reminds you like the dude cockroach from Men in Black with his skin stretched over him.
Pretty much, yeah. But enough about Donald Trump.
More like Donald Rump, am I right?
I know that man got a fatty.
Woo, dump truck of an ass.
Big old fucking
Dumper.
fat fucking
I'm
ass.
talking F650 with 3 axles, man.
Oh, son, got that gooseneck.
They call him the fifth wheel because he really be pulling a lot. We are talking about a 70-year-old man.
A 70-year-old man with an ass like Shakira.
God, and that is why he's our president.
Do you think Donald Trump got ass implants?
I know.
Do you think it could be a possibility?
I want to know if Donald Trump ever participated in a Harlem Shake.
I want to know if he's ever been to Bohemian Grove. Let's get right down to the conspiracies, man. Bohemian Grove. If any of you motherfuckers that are listening to this are familiar with Alex Jones, you should know about Bohemian Grove. And look, man, these motherfuckers, they have a fucking little a baby that's made out of sticks, and they burn it in a coffin, and they perform like a mock ritual. Known senators in the Bush administration have been to Bohemian Grove and performed these rituals, which Alex Jones captured on film. So,
Did he personally? He personally caught it on film.
yes, he snuck into Bohemian Grove.
God,
Yeah,
that's kinda neat.
it's
pretty-
you've never heard of that?
No, not Alex Jones.
Yeah, you know. So Alex Jones, the leaked footage that
Trey, how much InfoWars have you been dabbling into?
not so much Infowars, but just his podcast that he's done with Joe Rogan.
It's like 6 hours, including both his podcasts.
Well, he's actually has 3 podcasts with Joe Rogan.
Oh wow, so we're up to 9.
Yeah, so pretty much. And the last one is really when he talked about a lot about Bohemian Grove and how he, he snuck into Bohemian Grove and captured footage of the mock rituals that they were performing, and they have like this little orifice, whatever you want to fucking call it, of basically it's the size of a child, and they sacrifice it, and it's made out of twigs and whatever, and they burn it alive supposedly. So, and their god is I can't remember the god that they sacrifice to, but it's an owl. It's an owl god.
So there's a god. It's actually a religion.
It's supposedly something like a pagan god or
Well, I guess that's the definition. I mean, a
religion.
Yeah. Well, no, a pagan god is like a non-Christian god. You know, something that's trying to take the place of the God of Christianity.
Yeah, but
saying that wrong.
Wait, but what would pagans say about our God? Wouldn't that be a pagan?
pagan god,
Yeah, exactly. So every god is a
yeah.
pagan god.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to. Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't think that. I believe in the higher powers. I think they're all the same thing, though. It's impossible to have a Christian God and a Buddhist God and an Allah and all this fucking bullshit. I think it's all the same, and it's just every culture's interpretation of what their higher power is.
Yep. I think what the higher power is, it's think of Einstein's theory of relativity. Everything's relative to something else. So, when we die, we could just die, but there also could be greater beings out there that we cannot see per se. Like, for instance, microorganisms. That's their, they see that as their life. So anything smaller, anything bigger, they cannot perceive. That's out of their perception. But I don't know. That's a good way to think of things. I don't know. I'll let you know when I'm dead.
And I agree. No, I agree because I think that everything everything is within the living organism's perspective, right? So we think that we're the biggest things ever, right? Or through some people think that way. I don't think that way because I think that we ain't fucking shit.
Yeah, I'm like 5'7".
Same.
Wow. I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah, man. You used to be way shorter than me, and now we're the same height. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, no, I started taking HGH at like
Age 10.
oh, I like to look like Joe Rogan, just a beefed up monkey.
Knuckle dragger.
As Bill Burr would call him. Joe Rogan. Oh my God.
I mean, look, all I'm trying to say is it's a scary time. I think it is. So one of the things that I believe will be happening for sure. Are you familiar with a technocracy? You know what technocracy is?
No. Dude, you really are been on the InfoWars stuff.
No, this is straight Tim Dillon. Yeah, so basically, by 2030, if the deep state succeeds in everything that they're trying to do, so we'll live in a straight technocracy. Everything will be free. You know, you'll have a Netflix, everything, media, everything will be free. You won't have a car. They'll have the, transportation services that are all free, but all the products that you use are designated. You know, you have to use this TV, refrigerator, everything will be installed for you. They'll have sensors collecting more and more and more data, almost like an Alexa, exactly like an Alexa, listening to you, watching you, everything like that. The future is supposedly you're not going to have to call 911 because the sensors that are installed from the smart home that is in your home will designate whether it's an emergency situation, and they will call the cops automatically. So if weed isn't legal by 2030, we're all fucked because our TVs are going to call the cops on us.
You ever heard of an author called Ray Bradbury?
I can't say that I have.
Never heard of Fahrenheit 451?
Okay, yeah, I've heard. Yeah, okay.
That's hit the nail on the head there, bud.
So yeah, it's more of like an Orwellian society type deal, like George. Yeah, sure. I think and the problem with it is I don't think many people will protest to it.
Oh, most likely not.
I think they're gonna see the free shit, and this could. I think shit's about to change drastically in America.
I've been waiting for the civil unrest. It's kind of I was impressed.
Waiting, yeah.
I was impressed that we were fairly civil during. I was expecting, we had riots and stuff, but there weren't like heavy gunfire from both sides in these riots. They were fairly civil, even though the effects of the National Guard coming in and having to control things because of non-federal police. But still, it was very interesting to see how civil we could have been, and that impressed me.
So far. Now,
You saying we need to go do it? We need to start this revolution?
I'm not saying
I mean, they call you
that.
Chey. Why not Che Guevara?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to be the one to lead the revolution, but
Oh no, I don't give a shit. As my dad said, let's burn it all down.
that's that. You know what, man? I honestly think that whatever's going to happen, people are going to decide, and hey, civil unrest, it's happening now. When shit starts really popping off, that's when it'll be time to I guess revisit the topic, because for now, yes, it is civil.
Do you think coronavirus is a plot by the government to stop the civil unrest that's going in throughout our nation?
I don't. I think I think I think I think the Rona is very real. I just think that they are inflating the numbers because obviously
do believe in that it's kind of artificially inflated?
yes, I think so. Well, I mean, it's proof because these hospitals, these private hospitals, they get money for each COVID death that they have. So, if somebody dies in a car accident and they test them and they just so happen to have COVID, of course they're going to put that in the death report.
Right. So, a family member of mine had died, and he was an older folk. He was suffering from Alzheimer's and passed away eventually in his mid-90s. Everyone's like, "Oh, was it COVID? Oh, was it COVID?" And they're like, we can throw that on there just to get some money." Yeah.
Exactly. And I've heard that a lot about a lot of shit. You can have cancer and die and you got COVID. It's COVID. So I do think the numbers are inflated. I think it's probably some kind of I think the disease is real.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's definitely real, huh?
I think people are getting it, and I think people with underlying conditions can get it pretty severely. But I do think that the numbers are fucked up, and they're fucking with us. And they're trying to control us, and I don't think the shutdowns will ever not be a normal thing in American society. I think that masks will remain a thing until we die. Just like, China, Asia, so many parts. Now, I don't mind it. Whatever.
Yeah, it has my ugly ass face anyway.
Dude, yeah.
You don't have to look. You don't have to prepare. You can have mustard stains in the crevices of your mouth.
You could have bad breath too.
You go out and although you're gonna be smelling it, but
you'll smell it. But at least other people won't smell it. But I think masks are gonna probably stick around for a really long time. And that's besides the point. I think that. Well, first of all, let me ask you: what do you think about the vaccine?
I mean, if it's effective, it's effective. I mean, I don't know. I haven't had the vaccine, and I don't think I've had COVID. So.
See, and that's the answer I was looking for because a lot of people are like, "I'm not taking the fucking vaccine." And it's like, why the fuck would you not take a vaccine if it's proven and studied and trialed and done everything for, to pass it? Now, if they're trying to do shortcuts, that is what I'm concerned about. If they're just trying to put out a vaccine to say they have a vaccine, then maybe that's not so smart. But I'll take a vaccine. So
if they're giving it for free, screw it, man. I'll take it. I mean, I'm putting way worse stuff in my body. I can promise you that. But if it's available, I'll take it. It's not going to hurt. And if it does, cool. I mean, that's just another lawsuit and insurance claim.
I agree. I agree. People thinking that they're going to inject microchips into your body from the vaccine, they don't need to do that. We have phones. Dude, they don't need to inject anything into us to track us. They track us every fucking day. And if you don't like that, you should not have a phone. But at this point, I think it's inevitable. They're gonna track us. They're gonna do what we don't want them to do. And people in America want to make up these crazy conspiracies, and a lot of them I am truly convinced of. I mean, obviously, the Epstein thing is 100% real. Obviously, a lot of people in Hollywood were tied up to him. A lot of people in D.C., a lot of people in the government were tied up to Epstein. I think there's a lot of pedophilia that are going on in both Hollywood and D.C. and the government, and a lot of elites are fucking kids. I really do think that. I think Pizzagate is fucking real. I think Hillary Clinton is a fucking evil bitch. And I think her husband is as well. And he looks dead like a Draugr as well. There's a picture of him and Travis Scott together, and I absolutely love that picture so much.
Dude, that's actually kind of funny. I can't imagine that. But speaking of conspiracy theories, can we talk about like CIA's attempts to kill Fidel Castro and like how they tried to do it? Like one was like put a conch shell on the beach, hope he finds it, and there's a bomb in it. And another one was just like, oh, here's a cigar, there's a bomb in it, or like. he loves scuba diving. Here's a fish with a bomb in it. That's what the CIA was doing. And then, like, they also had this pistol that they said would shoot, like, fish neurotoxin out of an ice bullet. And it would, and then there's a video of it, and then, like, a bunch of old folks in the cabinet looking at this gun with a scope on it. They're like, oh, yeah, very nice. Looks like a 1911. And, it'd shoot a little ice, like, needle, and it wouldn't even leave a mark, like a blemish. Couldn't even tell. And it'd give you a heart attack.
So this is like Bay of Pigs type shit, like that era.
Real. Well, I mean, they say it's real. It could have just been a intimidation factor. Just saying, we had this gun. What could we have now? Because they declassified it during the Cold War. So.
Well, that is what I'm saying, dog. The best technology we don't fucking know about. The internet was invented in like the fucking 60s or some shit.
True, but it was pretty simple back then.
It was simple, but what I'm saying is nobody fucking knew about it.
Yeah, it depended on who you were. I mean,
exactly.
Like, niche studies. A lot of people don't know about, a lot of things. Just like, there's programmers. I can't tell you shit about programming language, but there's niche people that know exactly everything about it. Any language and can, put out and create services like that. So it's kind of it depends on who you are and where you are.
I just think that it's just sketchy, There's a lot of open ends, and we don't really know anything. And
ooh, did you hear about the? I think it was during the Cold War, the radiation. They had a radiation gun that would just beam at people, and they just get really sick and get radiation burns. And the only way they figured it out is they would hear like a weird tone, like a high pitched tone at certain portions of the day, like in front of a certain window or something like that. And they're literally just beaming, I don't know what type of frequency rays or what type of rays. But anywho, they're trying to sabotage people by just radiation gun.
Son, Russians are fucking wild.
I think this is America.
That was America?
Doing it to Americans.
Hey, man, whatever, dude. Russians and Americans, they're like, I see similarities in both.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, especially since Russia isn't communist anymore. I see the way Vladimir Putin runs America. I mean, the way Vladimir Putin runs Russia, I could see a lot of the top people that want to rule America. They want it to be a lot like Russia. You know what I'm saying? And that's.
I mean, but Russia is so different. I mean, even though it's so large, 80% is, I guess 95% of the area is uninhabited. When you look at the United States, it's so varied. Compared, there's so many clashing cultures in the United States compared to that comm block style Soviet era people. I guess people are different here and there.
Yeah, I just think that people are very different from here in Russia, and that's why I think that if we would ever go to war with Russia, we would be fucked. They're bred different. They're bred different.
Neat, though. I could live like a Russian, man. They eat doctor sausage, freaking mayo and black bread. That just sounds like that's what I want to eat every day. Just give me some shit ass meat, some Spam. Well, I guess I could. You know what? I guess
you still could do that. Yeah, I love Spam too. Little Vienna sausages.
Oh, yeah. Get you man. That's glizzy on the cheap.
Glizzy on the cheap. Mini glizzies. Mini glizzies made out of random pig parts.
Well, actually, so I was reading a can, and the first ingredient is mechanically separated chicken.
That's hardcore.
So you think, like, are they mechanically separating what? Like, are they, saying, "Oh, that's a nice chicken" with a robot and separating it? Or are they just like grinding it up with a fucking grinder and just like that's mechanically separating this chicken? Piece by piece.
I think the second thing that you said is probably the most accurate.
Yeah, it absolutely is accurate because I've worked with chickens.
You've done poultry before.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's bone and all. And
well, It's actually mostly the fat and skin and byproduct of, offcuts.
Sick. Yeah. Well, good. That's good to know.
I mean, if you get the barbecue or jalapeno flavor, you get a nice little taste on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and I don't mind it too much, I guess, because it's what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You just have some saltines and a couple Vienna sausages. What else? What else could you want? That's charcuterie, baby.
That is charcuterie.
If you don't got Nabisco and some Armor, some Armor brand Vienna sausages.
Armor's where it's at.
Yeah, the blue can. Look for it.
Blue can, look for it, son. They got jalapeno flavor now, and I've tried them, and they are not good.
This is not a sponsored segment by Armor.
No. There's no sponsors quite yet. But what I would like to say is that this, Miller or Bud, either way. But I would like to I'm going to pass the mic to Ben real quick because I'm going to go grab us both beers. And just go ahead and just kind of take it.
All right, guys. I just kind of took it as my dear friend Trey said. Trey, tell me about your mullet. Where are you coming in from that?
It's probably like 6 months in.
Oh, wow. That's looking... He's got the slight curl on the bottom, like a baseball player in 1989. I'm talking shortstop, tight pants, high socks. You wear Adidas cleats? Always. 3 stripes.
Of course.
What you got there? What are we mixing with? We got a champagne?
Which one do you want?
I want the champagne. Take it. What is there? What's Budweiser's?
It's a holiday tradition since 1876.
Budweiser, a holiday tradition since, you said 1886?
1876.
76. Holy cow, 100 years after America was founded. You think they did that on purpose?
Chey's got a piss.
Chey's got a piss. So Chey got a bidet.
I do have one.
Let me tell you guys, there's something magical about pressurized water and the lower sphincter of your anus. Yes, there are 2 sphincters in NAS. Unfortunately, Trey does not have heat, so if it's dead of winter, it's the temperature of your pipes, so you can get a 32-degree hot shot to the anus. I guess it'd be a cold shot. Sorry about the long pause. I was listening to Trey pee. He stops and goes, so he is getting old. He does have a kid. Wild, wild man. Is that a Goodfellow shirt? Where'd you get that? Target?
Target, yeah.
Target.
Got it at Target. I did. 100%.
Yeah, that phone's been vibrating, but I didn't want to talk about it.
Who is that?
Ooh.
Oh, that's probably my boy. We're going to pause the podcast real quick. BRB.
We should have paused it.
Just a couple technical difficulties. As we were talking about earlier, Ronald Reagan. Is he dead or is he alive? But no, for real. I think Sleepy Joe is going to do something that we really haven't seen much being done in the country. I think the lockdowns are going to start again, not because of that, because the case numbers are getting higher again. But what I keep trying to tell people is it doesn't fucking matter about the cases. It matters about the death rate. And the death rate is less than 1% of Americans. So why is our economy in shambles still? Why is everything not fucking open? Why are we not just doing what we fucking do? Like, I don't get it. It kills less people than people have starved. 2 million Americans have starved from the economic shutdown. COVID has not killed 2 million people. So what's the risk, son? Like, what is the risk? What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I don't know what. Me either, dude. I don't know, but we're doing something wrong. We're doing something wrong, and I feel that the generations after us are gonna have to fucking pay for what the fuck is going on in America. We're gonna be owned by China.
You think so?
Yes, we're already pretty much owned by China. They're just waiting to make it official.
We could beat them with
China's gonna do to us what we did to fucking Puerto Rico.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Dude, we owe them trillions of dollars, and now we shut down our fucking economy. You know, so either we keep their imports coming in, which I'm sure we will do. We have to, or they're going to dominate us. They're going to fuck us up the ass. And I don't even know if their imports are enough to keep them from fucking us up the ass at this point because of how much we owe them and how much our country is fucked.
Very true.
So, I'm not just ranting here. I mean, I am. But it matters because what is going to come of my kid?
Oh, yeah, no, he's fucked. He's gone.
That's what I'm saying. He's fucked, and it's sad.
Yep. Man, I don't know. We'll see if there's the way we're getting with corn, and I've just been looking at the types of weather we've been having around. Look at the Midwest. They having derechos and stuff that are blowing down grain bins. You look down here, we've had a record hurricane season.
Nuts.
You look to the west, and they got dryness, but I guess that's always dry over there, bitch-ass California. Put some lotion or some shit on. But,
lotion up them deserts.
yeah, no, that's what we need. Yeah, no, anywho, who knows? It could just be, people have been saying this for hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So let me ask you a question. How has COVID affected your life personally? And also, so I'm going to ask you, it's a two-part question. So how has COVID negatively affected your life? And how has COVID positively affected your life?
So I'm jacking off at an extreme number now that I'm working from home. There's nothing to do. I'm sitting in front of 2 high-def monitors, and it's unlimited resources at that point. But negatively, negatively, it's been like so I'm back in school, continue my education, and I ain't learning shit. I'd cheat on every test. Professors, fuck you. I'd Google every question. Sometimes I Bing it. If Google's doing some scholar censorship. I'll go crazy. Sometimes I'll look up Russian websites to find answers. That's a negative, but, that's a positive and a negative because I'm still not learning anything. I don't know anyone who's died close to me who's had it. I'm going to get to wear a cool little mask now. I feel like Scorpion from...
Well, let me just tell you. I do personally know definitely one person that's died from it. I do. A rest in peace, Doyle Coppell, one of the greats of New Iberia. If you're from here, he owned multiple bars. He was just a great guy. Always a positive dude. Just doing great things for the community, and that's real shit. I'm not being sarcastic. I know I'm a sarcastic asshole, but Doyle was a really good person, and I knew him through my grandmother, and yeah, rest in peace, Doyle. But so that's the only person that I really know personally that has died of COVID. I know a few people that have had COVID. One for sure, Jennifer. She had it and she felt bad for a few weeks. So it wasn't a walk in the park for her. But as far as most cases go, that of people that I know, it was my cousin Dylan also had it. As far as I've seen, it hasn't been anything. Also, back in January, one of our cousins died. She was older. She had diabetes. She was overweight, hypertension, all of the underlying conditions. She died. They didn't know what was wrong with her. She had, fluid in her lungs, pneumonia, and she had all the symptoms. She couldn't taste. She couldn't smell. I think she died of COVID before they really thought COVID came to the U.S.
Right.
So what I think is going on is that all the politicians are very afraid of opening things up and having mass numbers of mass amounts of people dying on their watch. So they want to keep the economy fucked so they can get reelected or whatever. I don't really know what they expect to do when there's no county or parish left to govern after you shut everything down and made everybody lose their jobs and fucking starve to death. I don't know how to fix it. I'm not saying I'm a miracle worker, but I do know that we're in fucking trouble. But
We'll see. I mean, again, it's hard to tell. You can only wait to the future to figure it out.
I think what's gonna happen is that people will realize that COVID's really not as serious to people who are not at risk, and JBE is gonna open shit up, and I don't know. That man looks like a walking asshole. I don't know. He just looks ugly.
I mean, that man can pull off some aviators, though. You talking about Joe Biden?
I'm talking about JBE, John Bell Edwards.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like Louisiana was one of the few states that remained closed before.
They did. I think I'm probably getting a lot of shit from people that might listen to this podcast that are Republican, but I truly don't think that John Bell Edwards did that bad of a job, because he could have closed down everything like fucking California. He kept daiquiri shops open.
True. Well,
for fuck's sake.
Well, that's also why they didn't close liquor stores, is because alcohol addiction. Once those people it's needed. What do they call it?
You fucking die.
Yeah. I mean, once you go into you basically it's not good.
Well, yeah. So and it could have been a lot worse, because I mean, you could have left the gas stations open and they have liquor, but he went a step further. He kept the daiquiri shops open. People drive-through daiquiri shops. He knew our Louisiana asses needed.
Of course, because it had to be drive-through, because you couldn't go inside. They were closed, so they're just keeping business.
So why not? Exactly. So people are sitting here complaining about our governor, and I don't think he's a good governor. I don't think fucking any governor's really a good governor. I don't think any politician's really a good politician, because of how crooked the system is. It forces politicians to be crooked, and I think the only outlier, however you fucking say it, examples of politicians that have not become corrupt over the years is Bernie Sanders. I think you could use him as an example.
I feel like Bernie Sanders, there's some dirt on him somewhere.
Maybe so.
I mean, I guess it's such a circle jerk about him, but like, I'm sure he's a great guy. I've never met him, and I'm sure he can eat a great like red beans and rice. But I feel like there's some like dirt, some secret conspiracy. Like, turns out he was one of the first pilots of Columbia's coke train into the United States or some shit.
Yeah, like
that's what I'm looking for. Like, that's what I want Bernie. That's why he's so lax. He's just been.
Well, even if he sold cocaine, I'd still be okay with it. And you know why?
He's a great businessman.
He's a businessman. He's not a politician. No, I think I'd be okay with it, just simply because it seems like he's been consistent over the years of his politician career. He's always said the same things. He's always had the same ideas. He was arrested for protesting the civil rights movement. I think Bernie Sanders either is a great ass motherfucking person, or he's a CIA plant. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. But also, it's like, Why are all these people so old?
I don't know, man. That's and you know what? It's only a certain amount of time before we become the people that are in power, and I think our generation, millennials, are really gonna you're really gonna fuck some shit up and do some good for this country.
Yeah, or some weird shit. We got furries coming out of the cracks and the internet culture. We got
2028, The Rock's gonna be president.
Yeah, we got people, we got congresswomen streaming. I'm sure there's congressmen streaming now. They found their niche. But like it's like, holy cow. We are internet is a meme. They're talking about cat boys and
it's ridiculous.
And anime.
Dude, everything is about anime now, and people.
Have you seen those animated YouTubers? They're called VTubers.
They're not even real people.
Yeah, they're a model.
I've seen it. There's a girl on Instagram that has like 20 million followers who's not even real.
Exactly. They have like millions of subscribers on YouTube, and they stream on YouTube, not even on Twitch, and they make, I'm sure, a lot of money. But where did that come from? It just appeared out of the cracks this year. And all of a sudden, bing, bang, bong, they announce they're like, oh, this is introducing this character.
It makes me fucking sick to my goddamn stomach. You know why? Because that could be other Americans making that money.
Well, the problem is, they are Americans. They now have the English-speaking virtual YouTubers.
That's so crazy, dude.
They just play Minecraft.
I am truly fucking floored that these motherfuckers are making real money, and I'm sitting here having to work my fucking ass off, and their asses ain't even real, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. The American outlook on life is consumerism is everything. Consume until you can't fucking consume anymore in all aspects. That's what these companies want.
And I think about, too, like, going back previously, like you were saying, how has the coronavirus affected people? I think the social anxiety of the general population is going to go skyrocket. Specifically for your introverts, they're stuck to a screen for the past 8 months, and then once they finally go out, they've been looking at these virtual.
Well, I mean, and that's what introverts. That's what they want almost. Yeah, exactly. So it eliminates the need for them to go out and interact. So it's going to make them less social. It's going to give people more depression, more social anxiety, as you were just saying.
I'm curious to see the birth rate decline. I mean, there already has been a significant decline in birth rate. I'm just curious to see, like, I guess we're about to find out once these 9 months come through.
Yeah, these consensus after the 9 months. Yeah. I do think the birth rate will go down, but I do think a lot of people are fucking.
True. Like, especially they're quarantined together, absolutely.
I mean, I've had more sex during quarantine for sure than I've had, with my girl than I've had ever, really. I mean, because it's...
You stuck together. Yeah.
It's date night, now. Right. I mean, we'll go places sometimes, but for the most part, shit. We like to kind of not go places because, I got my grandma and we all take care of Jackson and we're all kind of revolving him around. So that's kind of like if one of us is sick, we're going to pass it to him. He's going to give it to all of us.
What do you think, how do you think this Thanksgiving is going to go?
We're not, America? Well, I think... Okay, that's a good topic. I think the cases are going to rise a lot, for sure. I think after Thanksgiving in America, we're looking at more restrictions, more regulations, more mask mandates, more shutdowns, possibly. I think that despite all the restrictions that or not restrictions, but warnings that they have given the public to not travel, they're still going to do it. I mean, they are 100% going to do it. I saw an article about it before we even got here that, there's so many plane tickets booked still after even, they warned them not to really travel if they didn't have to. But, I mean, how are you going to really blame these people? It's Thanksgiving. You want to see your fucking family.
So what I've been getting at, too, is I know a lot of people from out of country and that, they're here for work, blah, blah, blah. But they're bouncing through all these other countries, too, because they're not citizens of these countries, so they have the opportunity to get out and fly away. So I saw this one girl who went on like a month trip during the heat of the coronavirus. Went down, did a European trip, just because she's Middle Eastern. Mm-hmm. She did all that.
What part of the Middle East do you know?
No, I don't. I think she's Saudi, but I'm not sure.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, just rich oil family. But it's crazy to see. I think that's one of the biggest things that's spreading is just people like that who stop, bing, bang, bong through all these places. They may be building up immunity to themselves, but they're also transmitting new, counterparts of the virus.
Well, that would cause mutations.
Yeah,
and mutations would make certain vaccines useless. But I also think that what they've been saying about the vaccine is that if 60% of Americans, if 60 or something along that number, if 50 or 60% of Americans get the vaccine, it will force kind of like this herd immunity type deal to where so many people will have the vaccine that it will.
No, it's going to be like tuberculosis. It's going to, once we get that vaccine for less than adolescent children, babies, basically, that's when we're really going to see the biggest decline. Other than that, we need to stick to, there will be eventually an injectable or inhalable vaccine that could really be the solution. But once we get that, vaccination requirement for newborn kids, that's when we're really going to see the straight decline. But also, again, with the mutations and separate types, now we're going on, there's that, minks that are coming up with a new COVID SARS.
Well, yeah, so that vaccine, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, so that vaccine is supposedly not the same as the flu, as in it doesn't introduce your body to the actual sickness, but it tricks your immune system into thinking that you have the virus. And it builds up antibodies naturally from that. Right. But I've heard that that vaccine specifically makes people feel like fucking dog shit for like a week.
You're inducing the flu. You're inducing.
You're making your body feel, even if it's artificial, you're making your body feel like shit.
Absolutely, that's like it's like making yourself stay awake. You're gonna feel like shit.
And so, in speaking of the vaccine, what do you think about it being ready so quickly and swiftly?
Even though COVID is a new virus, we know they're,
SARS.
Yeah, we know the archetype. And, it may seem like it's been quick, but dude, that shit started in March. Yeah, so it's definitely, and, that has literally been top team medical focus for some of the biggest institutions, Pfizer, and, all universities, other pharmaceutical distribution companies. And
when I also heard Pfizer just recently made an announcement that the COVID vaccination that they're working on is 95% effective.
Right. That's right. If that's proven and they can, if that's real, that's what we need.
100%. And I think we're going to get a lot of pushback from these Trumpers that are not going to want to take the vaccine. And I am floored by the fact that people that fought against anti-vaxxers have now become anti-vaxxers.
Well, it's, that'll just basically allocate the spread to, again, we're going back to the anti-vaxxer that's been around for,
And what the thing about it is it's going to ravish our community because, look where we live.
Oh, yeah.
You got Trump signs in every yard, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Everybody's entitled to their political opinion, of course. I mean, I'm not going to shame anybody for being a Trump supporter. I mean, people that I'm close to were Trump supporters for the second time. Did I support it? Absolutely not, because I think voting for Trump for a second time is kind of like having anal sex and not liking it, and then being like, you know what, I'm going to do it again.
Does that make voting for Joe Biden having anal sex and liking it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think Joe Biden isn't the answer to our problems. I think Kamala Harris isn't the answer to our problems.
So honestly, that sounds like Kamala Harris sounds like an NFL linebacker. That's who I thought it was at first.
Just a name, yeah. Kamala Harris. Yeah, I don't. You know what? As cool as it is to have a person of color as the vice president. I think that she's fake. I think that she won't necessarily be the savior of our country. However, yes, queen, I like it. Do your thing. I really think that people will respect her. And I'm not saying that I don't respect her, but oh shit, man, you're about to have to go to bed.
No, that's my. I send it every weekday, so it tells me.
So I'm not against Kamala Harris being the vice president. I actually think it's better than Sleepy Joe. But
Sleepy Joe.
Isn't that so funny that that's what Trump calls him?
Yeah, no, that's such an old timer thing to call another person. That's like.
Well, Trump's 74 and Joe's 78.
It's such like. Oh God, that's like calling someone a. What do they call it? That's a goose saddle right there. That's who he is.
Ah, boy, look at that old fella right there.
That kid, I bet his middle name is Fiddlesticks.
I think. So what do you think as far as our city goes? Do you think it affects us? Do you think that we will go into more shutdowns? Do you think that we'll be, in the same position we were back in March?
I don't know. They said wait till the winter and flu season comes around, but
that's here.
Yeah, I mean, we're in it right now, and I haven't really seen much, even though cases per day have been at an all-time high almost every day so far. So it's kind of like...
But the death rate really hasn't changed much.
I don't know those numbers. I don't really look. I just see...
Neither do I. I'm just talking shit. I would just like to think they haven't changed. But I guess you never really know. I think regardless of what happens.
What do you mean, irregardless?
Irregardless of what happens.
Have you ever looked up the definition of irregardless on Google?
No.
It's regardless.
Are you serious?
100%. Look, watch this.
So, irregardless means the same thing as regardless?
I guess so. Watch this.
How interesting. How long has this podcast been going for? We got.
What are these numbers?
We got 20.
2,000.
We got 2,060 bars.
God damn.
40 hours.
Baby.
Baby, now.
Yeah, look at the estimate here, regardless.
So you could say regardless or irregardless in any situation.
I guess, yeah.
That makes zero sense to me.
No, because it's an anti, right?
So it is an anti of regardless. So, but it does. I would see how you could say it anything. So regardless of this, irregardless of that.
Well, I guess because it's a double negative because regardless, not irregard. Irregard that. Is that a word? Is English now just left the mind?
Dude, I think everything is left the mind.
Yes, sir.
I don't really think that anything needs to make sense anymore. I think you can pretty much say what you want and say this makes sense, and if it doesn't to you, then that offends me.
I wrote a paper about that in high school. Like, if the point gets across, why does it matter if it's not grammatically correct?
Yeah, I agree with that. Based off like when you get a fucking F on a paper, or whatever, you would get point deductions on a paper because of the fact that your grammar was incorrect. Why the fuck does that matter at all if the point that you're trying to convey is relayed to the audience in a way that they can understand?
That's right. Yeah. I don't know. That's
America.
That's America.
It's America's fucking school system. I don't know, man. But I guess in a way I have to thank America's school system because it introduced me to this gentleman right here that I had on my very first Chey Show podcast.
I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you for having me, Chey.
I'm glad that you came, and I don't know. I'm sure many people that will listen to this know who both of us are, but just in case you don't, I'm sitting here with Ben Delcambre. We are alumni of the 2014 class of CHS. I'm not going to be too specific. I mean, who gives a fuck though, really? Yeah. But we do our fucking thing. We've been friends for like we said 15 years, and I'm sure this is not the last appearance that he'll have on the Chey Show.
Hope to be back soon, guys.
He'll be back soon. So with this episode, saying everything, I would like to thank Budweiser, even though it's not a sponsor, Miller High Life, even though it's the champagne of beers, even though it's not a sponsor. I would also like to thank McDonald's, even though they're not a sponsor, but hopefully...
It's a shame. No more spicy nugs.
No more spicy nugs. That's fucked up, dude. Yeah.
They didn't even last like 4 weeks. They ran out of every spicy nug in America.
COVID.
Another negative.
Another negative of COVID. Yeah, so let's go ahead and yas Queen Kamala Harris. Good luck.
Yas Queen.
Good luck to President-elect Joe Biden.
Good luck to Donald Trump.
Good luck to Donald Trump. He's going to start a media network and slander every fucking person in the media other than the people that is on his media network. So let's look forward to that. And Ben, anything you want to say before we sign off? The mic is yours.
I want to shout out to a guy named Mobius I met today. He was an older guy in a gas station, had a big old beard, and he let me touch it. So I shout out to Mobius.
Shouts out to Mobius. And we'll be back soon with another episode of The Chey Show, where we drink beer and we don't give a fuck what anybody else says. So, yeah, guys, thank you, Ben, for being here, bro.
Thank you for having me.
All right, homie. Later.